All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is our commitment to service. Guests visit our properties every day for many, many different reasons. Regardless of the reason for travel, our guests have expectations, and they deserve the very best in customer service. That's our Marriott spirit to serve. So you guys are recognizing that theme? Yeah, okay, good. So what do you think is the most important part of your job?
To serve the guest.
Serve the guest? Anyone else? Anything more important? No? I'll take serve our guests, absolutely. Providing the best service possible to our guests and giving them an experience that they remember. So we provide our service, we provide our guests with exceptional, world-class service. And our focus on service and attention to detail creates those memorable experiences for our guests. That's so important. Making sure our guests want to return is everyone's job. That's why we kind of take care of everyone. Can anyone share with me an experience, a time when they went to, maybe it was a hotel, maybe it was a restaurant, someplace they received really, really good service? Recently.
I went to Wendy's.
Please. Went to
And-
Wendy's?
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
Does that count?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm super, I notice when I get a good experience somewhere, and I
Good.
always make it known. I, like, right away, like, I never fill out, like, the review, like, you know how they have, like, customer reviews that you can submit and stuff?
Yeah.
And I feel like it sucks because a lot of people don't submit those unless they have a poor experience.
Correct.
Whereas if they have a good one, they're just like, oh, that person was really nice, and throw the receipt away.
Okay.
But I went to Wendy's recently, and when I pulled up to the drive-thru to get my food, instead of just taking my car and slamming the window and then giving me my food and closing the window again, he kept the window open the whole time and was talking to me because I guess they were like cooking like everything fresh at the moment. So he's like, it's gonna be a
Okay.
minute, but I'll sit here and talk to you. So he's sitting there, which I mean, some people probably get annoyed by, but I love talking to people. So that was a good experience for me, and it was just like it was very respectful, and he just wasn't trying to waste my time and make me feel like I was just sitting in my car waiting. So that was a good experience I had.
So it kind of exceeded what you were expecting, because you were
Yeah.
expecting just to short the window, go do his business, and then wait for the stuff to get done. Maybe
Yeah.
he's talking to a coworker or playing, whatever, wordsmith or whatever on the phone, right? So that's good that he actually, was like, oh, but I'll talk to you anyways. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's really kind of good. That's genuinely friendly, helpful service. It wasn't ready right away, so kind of made that transition to make sure that you were still kind of felt important while you're waiting for your food to be done. And you want your food to be done correctly at Wendy's. So how does the service you receive, or maybe the service you don't receive, impact how you feel about that business?
Makes you think about coming back again.
Specifically, you may come back, or you may not come back, right? It may more likely maybe not come back, depending on how your experience went. So yeah, good service makes you want to come back. If you get bad service, usually you kind of, maybe you're a little ambivalent about trying it again, maybe you don't want to go back there, right? Yeah. So, those all, the little thing that guy did at the drive-thru is just a very little thing just to kind of make that, it elevated your experience, right? So we all have the ability to make a difference. We all make a difference in what we're doing. We can give them a great experience, like that one, or we can give them a bad experience. And regardless of where you're working in the hotel, I like this because we have kind of a nice little cross-section. Everything you do impacts our guests, and more importantly, together we all contribute to make sure that guest has a great experience. Okay. Next one. Oh no, let's do that. Oh yeah, go back. There. So when we make our guests feel welcome, provide them with excellent service during their stay, we know they're going to choose to return to our hotel again and again. At Marriott, we're also responsible for taking care of all of our guests. Our entire hotel team will work together to eliminate and prevent problems that our guests so that our guests can enjoy what we call a problem-free stay. So how would you describe a problem-free stay?
No problems.
No problems, but I mean, like, what does that look like when you're there?
You feel comfortable. I think that's probably the most important
We just feel
thing.
taken care of.
Well taken care of? Like when you walk, you mean like when you said comfortable, like when you walk into the room maybe?
I just mean in general.
Okay,
I typically don't like to complain when, even like with like the, with big things, I kind of just like to keep quiet, but hotels are probably like the number one thing I'm like most judgmental about, walking in, and there's only ever been one time where I had to leave and find somewhere else to stay. But
okay.
that being said, it was because I completely just did not feel comfortable sleeping or showering or eating in the place that I was staying at, so,
Okay, well, let's take it from the opposite tack. So that was like a problem-filled stay.
yeah.
So what was it that didn't make you feel comfortable?
First of all, the employees were extremely rude
Okay,
right off the bat. So I just felt like anytime I would ask them for anything, they seemed bothered.
love that.
Second, the room was not tended to very well.
Okay,
It looks like it hadn't been touched in I don't know how long. The food was all really like cold and gross, and it was bad.
bad all around, right?
Yeah, won't say any names about
Okay.
where it was at, but
Hopefully it wasn't in Starwood.
oh, of course not.
But you talk about, take that experience, we look at the, if we flip it. So you walk in the building, the place is clean. You talk about feeling comfortable. It's clean, it's welcoming. The staff isn't rude. They're actually the opposite of that. They're welcoming you in, making you feel important, feel valued. They're glad you're here. You said the room looked like it hadn't been touched in a while
Yeah.
or cleaned. So offering, especially with Courtyard, it's a great clean room that we offer, right? That's at the end of the day, that's where the guest is going to spend the most of their time. So we got to make sure the sheets are clean, the towels are clean, the sink is clean, everything's in good condition, the TV works,
The lights work.
the lights, right? Internet,
The internet, the heater, the cooler.
everything, right? Everything's got to be just right in the room. We talked about being friendly, knowledgeable, food being served, it was cold and gross. So we'd say warm and delicious.
Warm things stay warm, cold things
Right,
stay
yeah, that's right,
cold.
the cold food served cold, yeah. And then you think about when they're leaving, making sure that their invoice, their receipt is correct, right? Make sure they got charged the right amount. Absolutely. So all those things, I know we kind of flipped it on the head with your experience, but I'm glad we did that. But I mean, our guests expect this when they stay with Marriott. They have an expectation what they're going to do, whether it's a Courtyard here in Atlanta, in Florida, wherever it is, they're going to have an expectation when they walk in through the building. And we've built that reputation. We've kind of conditioned them to expect that because we've offered that consistent, high-quality service wherever they've stayed with us. Okay, so let's talk about a guest that maybe we weren't able to please, if they have a problem, whatever that problem is. On average, for every one guest who bothers to complain, there are 25 who do not. So think about your kind of situation where you're like, I don't always fill it out. But 95% of our guests who experience a problem will never tell us about it. So many guests may not report a problem to us, they often will share their experience with others. They won't tell us about it, but who will they tell?
Friends, social
What'd you say?
media.
The internet.
The internet? Their friends? They'll tell their friends through the internet now. So absolutely. Some guests might blog, maybe they tweet now, I don't know. Maybe they email their friends. And when it's particularly bad, it's a particularly egregious story, it kind of gets forwarded on. They tell two friends, and they tell two friends. It's like a pyramid scheme, right? So a bad experience can go very bad for us and go very, very bad for us very quickly. We obviously don't want any of our guests to have a bad experience with us. We don't want to lose guests who have chosen us. Once we got them in, we took all that energy to get them in the building, all that investment, marketing, advertising to get them in the building. We don't want to chase them out by giving them a bad experience, right? So it actually, talk about that, it actually costs 5 times as much to attract a new guest as it does to keep an existing guest. And we strive to provide each of our guests with that problem-free experience because we want to keep them, right? We want to keep them problem-free. They're going to have a great time, and they'll come back and see us. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, things go wrong or guest is unhappy. So when this happens, guests expect their problem to be resolved quickly and to their satisfaction. So this says work in our table groups, but let's just have a conversation. What type of things can go wrong with a guest stay?
The room can be dirty.
Dirty room, stuff not working in it.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Ernie?
I was just gonna say that. Like we had a P-Tech go out 2 days ago.
So, especially with the guests in it, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I fixed the problem, but he just didn't want to stay there.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, of course. And at the end of the day, we switched him to a different room.
Yeah, and he's still complaining.
Oh, well.
He said it wasn't warm enough, or
Wow.
it wasn't getting hot.
Well, we started a fire in his other room. You'd think that would be.
Yeah, yeah. But this one, when we went to go check it, it was at 80.
Wow. Was it warm in the room though? Interesting.
And it's just the parameters for that room is set for
Yeah.
heat.
It can't go above 80. It still wasn't warm enough for him. So we can bring him some extra blankets or something else if we need to, right? All right.
Another heater.
All right, we can do that too. What else can go wrong?
Incorrect charges on things.
Absolutely, we charge them too much. They don't complain when we charge them too little, but definitely when we charge them too much. Anything else that comes to mind? Those are all really good examples.
Getting the order wrong.
Getting the order wrong, bringing out the wrong food, or not preparing it correctly? Absolutely. Okay, so kind of a good little smattering here of what we have, of things that could go wrong. We could probably sit here all day and think of things that could go wrong in a guest stay, but it's basically up to us, each of us in this room, to do whatever it takes to make it right for the guest. Our goal is to provide that problem-free stay, every guest, every stay. So most guests who do complain about a problem will return if it was resolved quickly and to their satisfaction. So that means every time we're presented with a guest problem, it's actually an opportunity to keep that guest. So if we take steps to eliminate that same problem from happening to other guests, like the sparking heater, those guests are more likely to experience a problem-free stay. The next guest we check into that room won't have the sparking heater, right? So that's the problem. I mean, we're not going to get everything right 100% of the time, but we do want to address what we can when we know there's an issue, so that way it doesn't affect other guests or other associates. So to handle this, we have a process called Learn. And this helps us handle our guest problems. This is going to be part of your service training. But to get you kind of started, here are some do's and don'ts that you can immediately use as you're kind of getting started, as you get your feet wet a little bit if you get approached with a problem. I think page 6 of your workbook has this visually. You do want to make sure that you're listening to the guest. That's actually the L in Learn when we get there. Pay attention to what the guest is telling you and show that you care. So it's taking an absolute interest in what they're saying, not trying to interrupt them, not trying to talk over them, letting them kind of, tell you their story, tell you their pain. You do want to apologize. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I apologize that happened. You want to make sure you get that into. That's the apologize is the A in Learn. But you want to make sure you tell the guest that you're sorry this happened in the first place. And then we talked about notify already, right? Tell the guest your name, and then we'll get somebody who can help immediately. If you're not sure exactly how to solve it, it's okay to even tell the guest that. You know what? I'm not sure how to fix that, but let me go get someone or get some information to figure out how to do that for you. Okay? Does that feel comfortable? You guys know that? Okay. It's okay to say, I don't know, let me get some help until you kind of get through all your training. But here's a list of what I don't want you to do, okay? Don't ignore the guest or dismiss them or think, oh, that guy's crazy. This is important. Don't say, I don't speak English. especially for the English speakers in the world, in the room, which is obvious. And then this is my favorite one to say, sorry, that's not my job. Why would that be important? Why do we have that up there?
Because it's everybody's job to help the guests.
Right? Even if you don't know how to, the guest is coming to you with a problem, and it's okay to say, like I said, it's okay to tell the guest, I'm not sure exactly how to fix that, let me find someone who can, we'll get a solution for you. Okay, so at least reassure the guest, sorry it happened, but you need to make the guest, ensure that they're feeling like they're in good hands, even if it's, because they may tell a housekeeper that their heater caught on fire, or they may tell the front desk that the housekeeper didn't clean their room. Okay, they're not expecting you to go up and clean their room necessarily. They wouldn't want me to do it. But you know, so that the guests understand that that we understand that we acknowledge the problem, and we're going to try to do what we can to make it right. So when you leave this room today, we know that you'll be asked questions that we'll not know the answers to, at least right away. So your job in that case then is to find someone who can. Any questions about that? Does that make sense? Feel comfortable? Very good. All right. I'm gonna turn this off because